to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Schmidt.
Brick by brick, baby. I'm freaking out, Webb.
I was told there'd be no man. Stupidity's going to be an asset. What a bunch of crybabies.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Rob Weber. Say hey, Webb.
Hello, hello. What's up, Smith?
What's up, Webb? I'm Smith. That's Webb, and we are the Major Makers. Thank you all for joining us. This is podcast number 118, Webb. It's our Super Bowl special. This is it. It's a love-hate relationship going on. I love that it's Super Bowl week, but I hate that football is
done, baby.
Finally over. Going to be a big game. I usually I have a real good read on how I feel about the Super Bowl. It's usually I think I'm usually pretty good at picking it. This year I feel like I might be going with my heart a little bit instead of my head, but we'll see what happens. But Webb, Wager Maker Podcast number 118.
118 times we've done that. That's like 118 hours almost. Holy shit. 18, we just talked about it. I guess the layup is going to be Peyton Manning. I really wasn't a big Peyton Manning fan, even back at college or whatever, but there's not too many 18s, believe it or not. So I guess we'll have to give it up to Peyton Manning.
Well, I mean, I think to me, I don't know how it turned out. Peyton Manning's almost kind of like underrated almost in that people don't look at him in that conversation. But during his time, he was always putting up doing shit. He ended up with 2 Super Bowl rings, so it's not like he's got no wins. Went to 2 different teams, got Super Bowls. To me, he lost a lot to Tom Brady, but to me, he was almost his teams weren't as good as Tom Brady's teams were when they were playing them. To me, I mean, I know Tom Brady was like the main man on his. I mean, Peyton Manning was like the main man on his team, but Tom Brady's defenses were always better than the Colts defense almost all the time. It just seemed like almost all the time. Yeah, it was close games, and Peyton Manning would come up with a close loss against Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's teams were always better, if you ask me.
Well, on the defensive side, but he had Edgerrin James, he had Marvin Harrison, and then they had Dwight Freeney in his prime, and the other dude, Mathis, were no slouches. But offensively, I think they certainly had a better team, certainly better talented. I mean, at the skill positions, at least. I mean, the Patriots never went with any. They were always substance over style. Not that the Colts weren't, but I didn't realize he won 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I did know that, but I don't really put 2 and 2 together on that, I guess.
Right? Just think of him as an underachiever in the Super Bowl because his crappy brother has 2 MVPs in the Super Bowl,
right,
against Tom Brady as well. So, Webb got obviously we're gonna touch on a few things that happened this week. A lot happened. We skipped the week because week in between Super Bowl. But we got all year to talk about some of this other shit. This is the Super Bowl extravaganza special.
Yes,
we're going to leave no stone unturned. Webb, I was on Bourbon Street today talking to our girl, the Ghost Queen, to get tarot cards. She's got this little medallion she was shaking to find out who's going to win this week.
We go. I'll pull all the stops. There's no stops.
We got prop bets. She figured out whether it's going to be heads or tails, what color the Gatorade. Whether you had a great question, Webb. Does she see cigars, which would be a telltale that maybe Joe Burrow would be a winner. But I could see the opposite. I could see OBJ smoking a cigar at the end of this game.
Just trying to.
That's just like a dig on the other guys if they end up winning. I got the over under. We got which musical guest will be the first to perform at halftime? Well, there's 5 musical guests: Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Eminem.
Like the 90s rap scene. Yeah.
It's the NFL is doing nothing but making old white men angry with this.
Everywhere they turn. Right. Everywhere.
What are they doing now? It's a bunch of rappers. I can hear them saying it. Not that I'm not an old white man, but I like the halftime show. I don't care about the halftime show. That's what I'm taking. We've been through this before. That's when I'm taking a leak. Give him a beer, getting another plate of nachos, a couple more wings. I'm not that worried about it. Also, whoever Mickey Guyton is, he's singing the national anthem. We'll find out if it's going to be over or under 95 seconds.
I heard. They were talking about it actually on Howard Stern today, and apparently this guy it was like 2 minutes inside. It's always typically goes over like 2 minutes. This guy's way under. So apparently they're saying that he's going to run through it. So I don't know. Exactly.
Well, in the past, I remember the over-under was usually around 2 minutes. When I saw 95 seconds, I was like, oh, this is kind of low. But
I mean, Lady Gaga went over, and then someone else, a couple years in a row, I had you over and it hit. So
who is Mickey Guyton? Is he
I have no idea.
Me neither.
Must be maybe he's a '90s rapper.
I don't know.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
But anyway, big news this week. Obviously, Tom Brady retired. Didn't retire. Retired again.
I don't know that it was his fault. That was the Adam Schefter, ESPN jumped the gun on that. Right. So I wouldn't blame Brady for that. He doesn't really do anything that's well thought out or whatever. I mean, maybe someone leaked it, and it should have been leaked at that point, but.
Right. So, but there is definitely Webb. Now it's official, the changing of the guard of the NFL quarterbacks. I mean, there's some really good young talent. Obviously, Joe Burrow's in this game. Herbert, we've talked a lot about.
Obviously, Mahomes, Kyler Murray. I mean, yes,
Josh Allen.
People are going to talk about Lamar Jackson, although we feel differently. I mean, Prescott's still young. The jury's still kind of out there a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of guys going to get paid here quick.
Yep. And then funny, now Kyler Murray, we talk about him as like one of the young talented guys. He's taken all connection with the Arizona Cardinals off of his social media.
I don't understand that. I don't understand like how that's just weighed so much. I think he's got a contract. He's eligible for a contract extension, I guess, this summer. So I don't know if that's how these guys do it now is some type of leverage. And then I heard something like he's always wearing, I guess, either an Oakland A's hat or jersey because he was their first round pick, or an Oklahoma jersey. So I don't know how you can possibly read that on his Instagram, or that he's angry. I mean, certainly what he's like, he can't wear his swag. Like if I was drafted, no matter who I was drafted, I'd wear an Oakland A's jersey. Why not? I mean. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what.
There's not even a team in Oakland. So who are you? What are you saying? Like,
right.
You want to be the Raiders?
You're saying maybe he's going to go back to baseball or something. I don't know what the inference is. I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to go coach at Oklahoma. He can't wear an Oklahoma jersey. So I mean, I don't know. It's just too much time. Too much time in the day, and these whatever you want to call them, these Twitter tough guys, I think they call them, or whatever, Instagram tough guys or whatever. It's just ridiculous. It's too much time. People have too much time.
No doubt. Speaking of too much time, Webb, and not enough time, what I don't have enough time for is watching the Pro Bowl, which happened this week. And all I see on social media is people complaining, right. What kind of bullshit Pro Bowl? Like, I think I stopped watching this 15 years ago, this Pro Bowl. And I'm sure it's worse now than it was then by a thousand times. But the fact that people are upset about it at this point, I don't get. What did you think was going to happen when you turned on the TV?
What were you expecting? You were expecting like a nitty like down, like fist fighting, like in the trenches, fighting for every yard. What did you, like you said, I'm 51 years old. I guess I haven't watched. Yeah, I guess I can't even tell. 20 years since I watched. I mean, a couple years they didn't even play it, right? Wasn't there a year or two when they just said we're not going to play it this year? Yeah,
and then there was some, where, so it was.
They moved it from Hawaii.
It was in Hawaii, and then they moved it stateside, and then it was like there used to be a weekend. And then at some point there wasn't a weekend between the Super Bowl, and they did it at a different point, or something weird with that too. I don't know what the hell. So anyway,
maybe it was. Yeah, was it? Yeah, maybe it was after the Super Bowl. Was it? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe at some point.
Maybe that's kind of how it grabbed my attention back in the day, like kind of see the guys one last time type thing. But it was more of a game. I mean, when we were kids,
right. Even if it was more like a 7-on-7 game, they still played. They still ran routes and did shit. Now it's just like, I mean, I don't know, ridiculous. But anyway. So I don't even watch. So no sense getting upset for me. I don't watch anyway.
Again, it's what were you expecting? What would you think was going to happen?
Right. And then of course, my man Alvin Kamara gets in some trouble out there in Las Vegas. I don't know. The jury's still out on what's going to happen with that. I've not seen the video. I don't know but it sounds like he might be in some.
Well, that's what's going to play out. Excuse me. Everything's on video, so you can say what you want. You might as well get in front of it. Don't pull a Ray Rice,
right?
And have that shit come and really, it would have egg on the face of the commissioner or whomever, and then you're gonna smack you twice as hard. So just get out in front of it. I mean, whatever. But there's damn sure video. So
Yep.
First of all, there's video everywhere. And second of all, everyone's taping it. Everyone was recording it. So
right. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I say, we got all off season to talk about stuff.
That's right.
Brian Flores suing the NFL over minority hires in the NFL as coaches. We can talk about this now a little bit later. I don't know what you want.
Yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are, it does seem weird that there's 32 NFL. I know that having 70% of the league being minority or black or whatever doesn't automatically mean that there should be that amount of NFL coaches. But it seems to me at this point, 1 out of 32, there should be more than 1 out of 32. That but there should be that many more qualified candidates. We talk all the time. Josh McDaniels got another job. Dennis Allen's gotten himself another job. Mm-hmm. The Saints interviewed, I think, every minority candidate that's out there. They interviewed Flores. They interviewed Aaron Glenn. They interviewed
the enemy. Right.
They interviewed other guys. I think they interviewed Peterson was the only other white guy. But I mean, it was like a given that Dennis Allen was getting this job almost. So what's the point?
That's just a natural progression. The dude has been there, But my thing is, there's 32 of these jobs. By definition, minorities are in the minority. So I mean, how many? So there's 70% of the league is black. So that means what? So you want 70% of the based on what? It just has to be. Everything has to be above board. I don't know why we can't just hire the best. I mean, if there's something they're not hiring a guy because he's black, is that? I mean, obviously that's not right. And hiring a guy just because he's white, but I just don't know that these egomaniacs are going to do that at that. I mean. They're about winning more than anything and making money. So I don't know. And I don't so look at any other industry. I don't know. If you look at the insurance, how many CEOs are white versus women versus minorities and how many of their employees are minor. I don't know why, the NFL has got to be, it's a difficult thing, I guess.
So do you think the Rooney Rule, so anybody who doesn't know, the Rooney Rule is a rule they put in a while back that makes sure that any head coaching candidate, they have to interview at least one minority candidate before they make it higher. And a lot of people say, well, that's just bullshit because it's bringing in like this token dude to fucking to interview. But to me, okay, let's say this guy comes. Let's say you call Bieniemy in to be your guy, but maybe Bieniemy's never sat in front of these the front office of the Saints. It's their chance to shine. The GM for the Saints might be the GM for somebody else 2 years from now. Well, but I've dabbled in a little bit of acting over the years.
Yeah.
And whenever I go to acting class or whatever, when they give you some instructions that say, look, whenever you're in front of a casting director, give it everything you got.
Of course.
Because they're going to be working on other films. They're going to, you might not be right for this particular part, but down the road, the word of mouth goes around, and I mean, the same thing can happen in this situation. So I don't think it's a lost cause with the Rooney Rule. I just think sometimes it's unnecessary too. At the same time.
There's of course at some point you're making them. Let's say that there's an interview, the Saints interview. Just use Doug Peterson as an example. Doug Peterson comes in and he knocks the socks off of Benson and the GM or whatever. So now they know in their pocket they got the guy. If there was no Rooney Rule, they'd be over. Boom, the guy's done. We're going to hire him. They can't do that. They have to interview a minority. So in that sense, it is. I mean, yes, they are obligated, and there's no guy that's going to, they're going to give the next guy, give Flores, for instance, his due, but he's probably, he's not going to get the job. I mean, I've gone to job interviews just for the sake of practicing at interviewing,
right?
Knowing that I'm probably underqualified, or some dude who's older or has been in the position in other places that's better qualified, he's going to get the job, or someone similar to that. But you got to go in there and just polish my interview skills. And who knows, like you said, especially now, like look what happened with Urban Meyer. Let's say the dude doesn't even last a year. Eric Bieniemy goes in there, or Hugh Jackson, or Marvin Lewis, or whoever it is, wow somebody, and then they fired a guy 10 months. Like, you know what? I did like Bieniemy. We fucked up. Right. We went with the name, and so I get both. Yeah, at times it is a token thing, but you still that doesn't mean it doesn't have value to the candidate.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And funny, like so the Houston Texans go ahead, they hire Lovie Smith.
Yeah, but
another retread, right? And Brian Flores' attorneys come out and say yesterday, like they're not really happy with that because like Brian Flores really had a better interview and everything. Like, first of all, how the hell did they know? How did they know?
Right. And that's all subjective.
And second of all, but the only reason that he didn't get that job is because of the lawsuit. Well, no shit though.
Right.
Nobody's hiring this guy at this point with this thing.
But not for nothing. I mean, what does interviewing, like say Lovie Smith's a shitty interview. What does that have to, how does that translate to coaching 52 dudes?
Right.
Like I'm not sure I want a guy that's,
ready for the office.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying Cobbie's got to be a great communicator, all these other things. And that's so subjective. Maybe the this likes Lovie Smith. It's his fucking $1 billion. He can do whatever he wants.
Right. So just weird. Anyway, like I said, we're going to have this is the kind of shit we got all off season. Read something. Sports gamblers are expected to wager, Webb, a record $7.6 billion on this Super Bowl. And that's just on the up and up. That's just on your DraftKings, your FanDuel, your casino wagering, all that shit. We got the apps now. Marty Johnson had a good question. She said, "What do we have a particular app we recommend now that we're doing this?" And all I can tell you, I opened up a Caesars app. I also have a DraftKings app for the little fantasy shit I was doing in the beginning of the year. I recommend doing the DraftKings if you want to also play some fantasy games on there and not just straight betting. But to me, they all seem pretty close to the same. If I was you, I would open up a small account in every one of them because they're in Louisiana right now, Webb. They're all giving away free money, matching money to get you. They all bet MGM, Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel. They're all giving incentives to join. So I would get that free money, put a little bit in all of them until you get going.
Well, here's my advice: is you can just use that money and kind of take advantage of bet. If they're going to give you $3,000 on this side, take that $3,000, bet it on the other side the other way, and you're going to guarantee making the money. So, I mean, you could certainly play them against each other, and with their very aggressive, whatever promos they're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I know a friend of mine who did it. His son did it. He made, he had a bit of he had a big hit. Yeah. So there's ways that you can take that money to your advantage and then go together and bet against it on the other side. So.
All right. So Webb, let's go. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Let's get right to it. Have you personally seen, we're going to get to the Ghost Queen in a second. Have you personally seen, before we do our big picks, have you seen like any props or things that you like? I know I saw a couple of the MVP numbers that were worth taking a look at for me. Do you see anything that pops off the screen at you?
I saw a defensive lineman win the MVP. That looked good to me. I thought maybe with those guys playing on the defense, Von Miller's won it before. And then I saw something about Stafford's longest run. I thought I liked, and then and the number of carries for Cam Akers. I think it was 16 or 16 and a half. So those are the three that kind of looked at me. I will bet the coin flip. I'll bet the Gatorade, and I will bet the other thing, the anthem. Yep. But I'm
probably going to go with the Ghost Queen. I'm probably going to go with the Ghost Queen. I
got to see what the witch says.
All right. So a couple I saw just off. You mentioned defensive linemen. There's a dude that played for the Saints that was actually the defensive end for the Bengals is an actual wrecking crew, man. I could easily see him like having that big sack fumble. Trey Hendrickson.
Is he not he's a defensive lineman, or is he a linebacker?
Yeah, he's a defensive end. Anyway, but he's got his own one, and it's plus 6,000 to be the MVP. I thought that was something out there, but also because I could see maybe a strip fumble, maybe a couple of them. That sometimes a couple of those defensive plays are what gets you over the top.
That's how Von Miller, I think, won it. Yeah, and I think I saw something too about Burrows. If he throws, I don't know if it was 3 touchdown passes or 4, but it would have been 3 because I thought he could do that even if they lose.
Right. It's almost especially if they lose.
Yeah, and it was some decent odds too. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
I also, while you're looking at that, I also like Joe Mixon is plus 2,500 to be the MVP. I thought that's worth a flyer. Obviously, I led on the Bengals side. There's guys on the Rams side you could do the same with. But Joe Mixon, I thought, look, he's the main running back for the team. He could easily catch a swing pass out of the backfield and go 50 yards for a touchdown. And if he gets a little roll, tough to run against the Rams. But if they utilize him a little bit, maybe he runs for $120 and a touchdown or two, and boom, that's MVP type numbers.
Sure, I mean, especially they get up, they start handing the ball off in a couple breaks, and even if that pass rush is getting to him, a couple swing passes is another thing. And I don't know how often they're going to take him off the field. I pulled that Joe Burrow up here. If he throws 3 touchdown passes, it's plus 400. I mean, that's a decent, winner there. So
it's 2.5. So it's like over 2.5, or it's 3 is the
number? 3. It's got to be exact. One's plus 160.
Oh, if he throws exactly 300, three touchdown passes. Gotcha.
4 or more is plus 575, and 0 is plus 425.
All right, so I guess before we go any further, we're going to come back with our picks in a second. I want to give everybody a chance here. The Ghost Queen. The Ghost Queen is going to tell you what the deal is. I was out working hard on Bourbon Street today.
Doing what you got to do for the show.
That's right. I'm doing it for you, people. Doing it for you. Yeah. All right, so don't forget, when you win some money, get to the store, buy some stuff. We're building up pool money for our
that's coming next.
March Madness. I watched Purdue and Illinois last night. Great game. Awesome. Raucous environment. Awesome. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Auburn got knocked off. We don't even get me started. Again, next week on the college hoops.
Right.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Ghost Queen on Bourbon Street. Hello, everybody. This is Smith from the Wager Makers Podcast. I'm here right here on Bourbon Street. Beautiful Bourbon Street. And we're here with the Ghost Queen. This Super Bowl, we leave no stone unturned when we try and get picks for Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm doing this for you. We're going to try and find out all the winners, find out who's going to win the game. The Ghost Queen is going to help us out. She's got the cards down here. We got sharks, we got cards, we got everything we need. So, Ghost Queen, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started and what you do?
Hi, I'm the Ghost Queen. I've been in the paranormal for over a decade, and I'm a reader here on Bourbon. I've been down here in this spot on Bourbon Street for a couple of years. I've been a clairvoyant since I was a child, and that doesn't mean I'm always right, but I do try.
Awesome. Do you do strictly with cards, or do you see visions, or you have crystal balls, or how's this work?
I actually really want a big crystal ball, but I do have visions. I have dreams and visions. Sometimes it's just little small stuff that don't seem really important. Other times it can be big stuff. Some of them come true, they don't all come true. But I do use the cards down here on Bourbon to give readings to people, and Spirit helps me pick the cards.
Awesome. And then the Ghost Queen, that's the name that you came up with that name? It's an awesome name.
Spirit gave me that name years back when I was doing research through a spirit box. A lot of them started calling me Ghost Queen, Ghost Queen. I kind of think they were making fun of me and my ego, but I thought it was cute and catchy. My real name is Heather.
Awesome. Hey, Heather. Well, we're going to call you the Ghost Queen today because we want the real deal. That's it.
Definitely.
All right. So now, have you ever picked like football games or tried to pick sporting events or anything before?
I've never done that. I mean, obviously, I'm a Saints fan because New Orleans, but I'm also originally from Boston, so I'm a Patriots fan too.
Oh boy. Well, we're not going to hold that against you. Saints are good. We're not going to hold that against you. All right. So, Ghost Queen, let's get right into some of these picks, and we're going to try. We're going to start with right off the bat. Okay. So the coin toss. All right. You have 2 picks. It's heads or tails.
Okay. We got a coin.
Okay.
All right.
How we got to do this? Are we looking at cards? Are we flipping the coin itself, or what are we doing?
The coin on the mat.
Okay. Oh, this looks legit. This is legit.
Straight up legit.
Yep.
Move this out of the way. All right, here we go.
Should we do anything we say or chant or anything while we're doing it?
Who are we coin tossing for?
Oh no, well it's gonna be straight up heads or tails. We want to know heads or tails what's gonna be.
Okay.
On Super Bowl Sunday when they flip the coin.
I don't even know which teams
okay.
are playing.
Well, we're gonna get to that. But the beginning of the game. So it's the Rams and the Bengals. But here's what happens. They come out, and the first thing they do is flip a coin, and we want to know whether it's going to be heads or tails. That's all.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Tails. Tails it is.
Honey.
Okay, so the coin toss is going to be tails. All right, now the next question, okay, is going to be the national anthem. So there's somebody named Mickey Guyton is singing the national anthem. I don't know who he is. Do you know who he is?
No.
I don't either. So the over-under for the national anthem is 95 seconds. Is there some way we can find out whether he's going to
I'm assuming it's a he, is going to take a long time, over 95 seconds for the national anthem or under 95 seconds for the national anthem?
I'm feeling over.
Over. Okay, over 95 seconds. So Mickey Guyton's going to hold on to a couple notes there and take a nice long rendition of the national anthem.
What I'm feeling.
Okay. Now, at the end of the game, a lot of times the team that wins will dump Gatorade on the coach at the end. I don't know if you've seen that before or what. So there's a couple different color choices. There's either red, green, blue, orange, or no Gatorade at all.
I'm feeling red.
Red Gatorade. I think we might have been a winner a couple years ago, so that's good. Now, next thing, there's a bet for the total score, the combined score of the two teams. You can either bet over or under, and the number is 49. Are you seeing a high scoring game or a low scoring?
I'm feeling low.
Low scoring. Okay, under 49. Got it. Okay. At halftime, there's going to be a big halftime show. It's going to have 5 different performers, and the question is, which one is going to perform first during the halftime show? The choices are Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, or Eminem.
I'm feeling Snoop Dogg.
Snoop is coming out first, smoking away. Love it. All right, so now also, do you vision? There's a particular player that after he wins games smokes cigars at the end of the game. Can you look into the vision and see on Sunday, is anybody going to be smoking cigars after the game?
Definitely.
Oh, I love it. Joe Burrow might be loading up a victory cigar. And let's see. Do any numbers stick out in your head for this Sunday? Like maybe it's a jersey number, maybe it's a score. Is there a lucky number that you have that you go to?
I'm feeling a lot of sevens.
Sevens. It's gonna be a high scoring, I think. So, all right. And then let's see. So about the winner, there's the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. Who do you feel is going to be the Super Bowl winner?
I'm going to ask Spirit for this.
Oh yeah, we're asking the Spirit
see
for
if
this
he'll
one.
just tell
This
us,
is the real deal.
Here we go.
So it's the Rams and the Bengals.
All right, here's what we're going to do. The
Okay.
Rams are going to be yes. The Bengals are going to be no.
Got it.
It just takes a couple seconds for it to build up some energy. It'll start swinging in a circle.
Oh yeah.
As I connect to Spirit, and then it's either going to go, what do we say, Rams yes, Bengals no.
Okay, that's good enough. Rams yes, Bengals no. Which way is yes and which way is no?
Yes is horizontal across the table.
Oh, I see.
No is vertical towards you and me.
Okay. Oh, I think it's going a little bit this way, right?
That's Bengals, dude.
Bengals
Every
all
boy.
day. Bengals all day. Love it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Ghost
Come to
Queen,
Bourbon
thank you
Street
for helping
and
out the
see
Wager Makers podcast, and thank you for all your Super Bowl predictions. We really appreciate it.
us. My pleasure.
Awesome.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Webb, the Ghost Queen has spoken. In case you didn't get them all, the coin toss, she's got tails. Gatorade, she's got red. Over 95 seconds on Mickey Guyton. She sees cigars. I don't know if that's a thing anywhere, but that's just a hit for the game.
Right.
I asked her if there's any numbers that stuck out in her head. She said the number 7, which 7's an obvious pick for football. I don't know. She looked into a crystal ball for that or just came up with something off the top of her head. Under 49.
I don't like any of the picks.
And Snoop Dogg is the number 1 to come out first.
Maybe Snoop.
And she used her little pendant, swinging pendant thing, and it came out the Bengals. The Bengals
right.
win
that,
the game.
That I like a lot.
So there you have it, Webb. All right. Now it's time for the nitty gritty.
Get down to it.
Are we taking the 4.5? I made a mistake. I saw 4 and 50 like the first day. I'm like, I'm jumping on this shit before it goes to 3 or whatever. No, that was a mistake because now it's 4.5 and like 48 and a half.
Back to 4. Hold on, let me see what it is. I'll pull it. I just had it. It was 4 again just before.
Okay, good. So I don't feel so bad. But
could have had 4.5 at some point.
Like I said, I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt. This isn't one. Sometimes for the Super Bowl, I'm like, man, put the house on this thing. But what I'm saying is, I like the Bengals plus the 4.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals plus the 4. I mean, you look at it on paper. The Rams have the names that and they probably are man for man better. But I don't know. They do have at least a head coach has experience. But Stafford doesn't impress me. Especially that one ball he threw to what's his name? Tart just dropped. So if that thing happens, the offensive line of the Bengals scares me versus the defensive line. And then the secondary, I guess of both teams, but more so of the Bengals, scares me. But having said all that, you got Joe Burrow, you got Jamar Chase, you got the other receivers. They're as good probably. Mixon is better than any running back. So, and the quarterback is better. And he seems to be a little bit charmed when it comes to this shit. So, we'll take the points. I'm not rooting for the Rams. They kind of did like an all-star team. They just picking every best guy. So I'm not rooting for that type of team. So it is at home for them too, which is interesting. And I wonder how that's going to play out in terms.
Well, the weird thing about the home game, I was going to bring this up too, is there are no Rams fans at this point. Like if you watch that game last week, the Rams and the 49ers,
right,
and in the stands was all red jerseys.
Right.
But the difference is in the Super Bowl, it's going to be all LA bigwigs. It's going to be a bunch of movie stars with they're all going to have Rams shit on.
Right.
A Super Bowl, even if it is at a home stadium, it's more of a neutral site deal anyway, because the real fans don't get the shit. There'd probably be more Bengals fans finding a way to get into the game.
Well, hardcore
than Rams, right?
Sure.
So I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal.
Other
than the movie stars are going to act like they've been rooting for the Rams for 100 years.
Right.
Like it's the big thing. So
I mean, the Bengals are on a roll. That's undeniable. I mean, that 9 sack. If he gets sacked 9 times, they ain't winning shit.
Look, I said the Titans would take him out. I said the Chiefs would take him out. The dude's just got it, man. He's got the it factor. I don't know if it's going to come in one more time, but I'm riding with Joe Burrow.
He's got the playmakers. I mean, what worries me is the offensive line versus that defensive line in particular. But I mean, there's ways around that. You could scheme around that, and maybe the dudes will just block. So, I mean, Von Miller's old, and I've put my money on Aaron Donald before, and he's shit the bed for me.
The Rams have screwed me every time I put money on him.
Right. So, and again, like I said, I'm no Stafford. We've talked about him on this show since 118 times we've been figuring out what's going on.
How about the total? Look, it's in SoFi Field. Looks like a fast track. Both teams have capabilities of scoring big plays. I like the over in this game.
Well, I'll tell you, I certainly wouldn't bet the under. Yeah, I'd like the over, certainly at 48.5. I mean, I think one way or the other, these teams aren't going to be shy once it gets
right.
If it gets one way or the other, we may be in trouble if it's set.
They're not going to – these teams, if they get behind, are not going to stay to the game plan like, say, the 49ers would.
Right.
The 49ers will be running Debo down by 20 points in the third quarter, and they'll still be running Debo. These teams, if they get down, they're going to be throwing every play.
Yeah,
McVay ain't keeping the fucking run game going.
No,
you know what I mean?
They're
down by 3.
Yeah. They're going out wide. He's going to have Van Jefferson, OBJ, Kupp, the tight end, and then the running back. There's empty backfield, and they could do the same thing with. And what they'll do is they'll just throw. Burrow's just going to throw a bunch of quick slants or something if they start crushing them with the pass rush. So I like the over too.
Yep. All right, there you have it. We got the Bengals plus the 4.5, whatever it is, and we got the over 48, 49, 50. Ghost Queen says tails red. Over 95 seconds. Yes, there's cigars. Under 49, Snoop Dogg. And the Bengals win it all. And she sees sevens.
Sevens. Yeah, well, maybe if you got 7-7 in the pool, in the box, you'd be all right.
Right.
Maybe you get to halftime or something.
All right. So, look, everybody, you want to help us out? Go to our store. We get a few dollars. We don't get a lot. We get a few dollars off of everything we sell there. Go to our store. If you need the link, hit us up. And that's the way to help us out. And then we got the March Madness pool coming. We're going to have at least 500, maybe more. So, anyway, enjoy your Super Bowl. Thank you, Wilbur Investigations, MN3 Technologies, Buffalo Grill in Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you, everybody, for listening. See Really, Lil Saint the Goat, John Grow. Webb, take us out.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Debbie's going to tell you about YouTube. Once again, brick by brick. And listen, people, get on whatever Smitty posts. We are hot. We are on fire in the NBA.
We're number one at Sports Watch Monitor on NBA.
Dude, we have a couple guys taking advantage of some of the advice we're giving out there. So it's no BS. We're smoking. So you gotta ride that train when it's in town. So the Wager Maker Express is rolling. So
go to sportswatchmonitor.com. You can buy our picks. NBA and NHL. We rolling number 1 in NBA, number 4 in NHL, and number 10 overall in 2022.
Notre Dame, big winner in college hoops tonight. So we got a bunch of stuff going on, brick by brick. And you know what? You're welcome.
Hey guys, it's Devin. Make sure you subscribe to the Wager Makers podcast on YouTube, like all their videos, and click that bell so that you turn on your post notifications and you never miss another video.
Welcome to the Wager Makers podcast with Webb and Smith.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Wager Maker Podcast.
Brick by brick, baby.
Yeah.
Here comes the Wager Maker
Here I go.
Express.
I hear y'all sick of losing money cause y'all don't know how to bet. Better hit that Wager Maker Podcast with Smith and Webb. They gon' show y'all how to do this. Take these notes like y'all some students. Y'all can't seem to pick them right. Well, tonight y'all lucky night. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. Wager Maker Podcast. Wager Maker Podcast. Your bookie getting sick cause we built this brick by brick. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. Come and place your bets with that WM Express. Let's go.